Well, tonight on the podcast, ladies and gentlemen, there was a good video that was recently posted on X from a extended, video. And this is something that we need to have more of. And even myself, I'm trying to figure out ways to, put events like this together. I would like to go through to the major cities in the United States, because we do need to have these open conversations, about the way we move politically, especially in the area of our voting. So we know the migrant crisis is out of control, very, very out of control. And a lot of Black Americans are very upset about this, along with other Americans as well. But I want to play this video because this video is going to highlight one major issue that a lot of people in Black America is not willing to accept or take responsibility of. Let's go ahead and roll that.
1980, which of course should have been changed a long time ago. So they bringing them in. You wonder where the money coming from? They taking it, the COVID fund that was here, that money. You talking about all the housing programs. So when people pay rent, all the rental programs, that money, all the programs that we have in the city of Chicago, they are bankrupting us. They are taking from all of these programs that we have, and they're taking the money and they're funding the migrants. Our taxpayers, we've already paid $32 million out of our taxes to house and take care of the migrants thus far. Now, we already know the only ones who qualify to become citizens in asylum here from the starts of if they were here after August, they don't even qualify. Period. But here we're going to be taking care of them for 5 to 7 years while there's paperwork floating on people's desk. And why? Send them home. Send them back. But Venezuela already said, oh, we're not taking them back.
Mm-hmm.
I
got a question for you. Who did you vote for?
First of all, I have no problem with saying that I did vote for Biden because I was not voting. Okay. I did. Okay, but here it is.
Hold on. That was the question. Okay. Now you answered it, right? Okay. This migrant influx that we're dealing with right now, this is your fault.
Okay, well, let me say, hold on. First of all, it is,
Now, when he said that, I was like, I was laughing at that. I was like, oh, man. But you know what? I'm going to give her credit. She didn't lie about anything. She took responsibility. She said, yes, I did vote for Biden. Now, why do I have in the lower third, why have those words there? Black America, we are the only group of people that vote almost our whole community for one party. We're not centered independents. We don't say I vote for Democrat or Republican, don't bother me. I just want to make sure we get a policy that helps us. That's not what we do. You're voting tradition, right? Because let's call it what it is. I was raised in the same Black American communities as the majority of you. We all was raised to be Democrats. And if you had a question about the Republicans, we are told that's not what Black people do. We were told that Republicans were racist. So when you meet a Black Republican for the first time, you're like, what? A Black Republican? Where'd that come from? Right? And so I'm not the type of person to just take everybody's word. I usually like to go search out different things and talk to Black Republicans. And I'm going to tell you the first Black Republican I ever had a conversation with, like, extensively, was, our dearly departed sister, Shirley Hussar. And, that sister, 2 weeks before she passed away, we had a long conversation. And, while she was in the hospital, because she was, battling cancer, and nobody knew she was battling it. But, we had a long conversation. I'm glad we did, because that was my last time talking to the sister. And, we would have conversations about different things at the time. And I'm trying to figure out, back then when I first, talked to her, it was around 2017 or so, she reached out. And it was a different world seeing Black people being Republicans. I say, where'd that come from? Talking about Trump and all this stuff. Like, what is that about? And so I would hear the conversations they was having. I say, some of this stuff kind of make a little sense because, Democrats is I say, but, I don't like some of the stuff the Democrats are pushing, like all this stuff about the bathrooms and that's that stuff Obama was pushing. And that's what really, Obama took Democrat way to the left, and it's never came off that side. And it keeps going deeper and deeper and deeper left to a point that is no return for it. There's no return. So after Obama took it there, and you know when he took it, let me tell you when I know he really took it there. You remember when he had the LGBT flag on lights on the White House? That's when I knew. I said, oh, wow, look at this. And then every time somebody said that they was LGBT, Obama calling them. And I'm like, why is this man calling people about their personal life? Why he keeps doing that? I say, I don't see him out here calling freedom fighters. I don't see him calling firefighters that maybe ran in and saved a child or something like that. I don't see him calling the military like that. You know, they protecting the country. But no, every time somebody was talking about LGBT, he was calling them up. And then it seems like after Obama, think about it. You think about it. The Democrats really just went this way to the point that like, man. So you're seeing people now, even today, even people saying, man, Candace Owens actually making some sense. I'm seeing even black people say that, believe it or not. I mean, now I notice Candace is kind of reeling herself in where she's being a little bit more centered. I'm noticing that too with her. So yeah, she's kind of making some changes. I don't know if she's trying to creep herself back a little bit because, you know, them folks, she's almost there where she's about to get done with them. So Candace, she's not that silly. I've been saying a long time ago, Candace Owens is not a silly woman in one instance. In one instance she is, but in another instance she's very intelligent. And I know deep down inside she'd rather be with her people, but that's a conversation of a different day. Now, the Democrats have never been quiet, or they never pulled a bait and switch about their position on immigration. They've been very open about this. Remember, it was Barack Obama that did DACA. The first black president, right? He did DACA. He didn't do reparations, but he did DACA. So that's been, and have to think about that, even with Obama with the immigration thing. At first, he first came to office, he was sounding like Trump. When it comes to immigration, go pull the old tapes from 2008 and 2007. How Obama sounded just like Trump. No different. And then it's like when he got to that second term, he switched from that. Matter of fact, his first term, he wasn't even talking about LGBT marriage and none of that. But that second term, everything switched with that man. It switched. We don't know what happened, but everything switched on his head. Now, fast forward to Biden, we covered in the podcast here how Biden told the people to come to the border. But let's get to that one part where that brother said that you voted for it. Now, remember when they had voted for Biden and they was all in the streets dancing, cutting the jig. Look at them. They were just having such a good time. They had the sign about Trump out there talking about, Trump is over. And oh boy, look at all the dancing, y'all. This wasn't that long ago. Look at the dancing. Now, I wish I could talk to them same people right now and say, hey, are you dancing about this inflation? Are you dancing about these gas prices? Are you dancing about all this good rent that you're paying now and mortgages that you're paying? Or are you dancing about the migrant crisis? I bet you y'all not dancing now. Oh, I bet you y'all not dancing now. See, y'all sitting up here dancing like this for Biden, and Biden did y'all in. Especially a lot of you black Americans that's in there, cutting the jig in there. Now, you worried about your jobs. You worried about you can't get anything. Now, most of you sound like Trump, who's talking. Now, years ago, when y'all were dancing, y'all said Trump was the biggest racist in America. That's what y'all said. Y'all had to get Trump out. That's what y'all said. And you let MSNBC and the rest of them get y'all on that. And y'all were dancing. Y'all thought y'all got something good. But, oh, boy, I bet y'all not dancing now. Oh, I know y'all not dancing now. You see, you need to pay attention to policies and not listening to the mainstream media. Listen, we told y'all long time ago, we realized it. The mainstream media is propaganda. That's what they do. Straight up propaganda. They don't they give you a little truth and they're spinning things and they're trying to convince you of narratives. Listen, the mainstream media operates no different than the Nazi Germany. Okay? Even in Nazi Germany, you're talking about Hitler himself. He said that with the skillful use of propaganda, you can make evil good and good evil. And that is the same propaganda that comes from Nazi Germany, the United States media and the Western media as a whole. We're talking about globally Western media use against us, whether it's trying to convince us of a narrative, whether it's trying to demonize people that should not be demonized whatsoever. They use propaganda. That's why the, black media today, we talking about those of us who are on the front lines now, we're combating that propaganda. We're combating it. And what they're trying to do, because of the everyone is getting on code with this, and even in society, they're trying to stop apps like TikTok because too much information being spread to stop things. For instance, like on TikTok, I learned so many different things that I didn't even know. But, on these other platforms, they're censored, that particular information. For instance, the new thing that everybody's just talking about recently, to give example, all these cars that have, sending data to your car company, well, they're sharing data with the insurance companies. And the insurance companies are looking at your data and jacking your prices up on your insurance. You wonder, why is my insurance prices keep going up so much? I haven't had an accident. I haven't had a ticket. Well, like those hard stops or you accelerating or whatever, where they count that as a strike against you. Well, your car manufacturers, a few of them have been exposed, like GM and a couple of others, have been sharing your data with LexisNexis. Now, LexisNexis is not the credit bureaus. It's another main place where all your information is stored. And actually, you can go get your LexisNexis report. You could challenge it. You could even get your LexisNexis report frozen. This is where the insurance companies getting you information, mortgage companies, anything information about you is on LexisNexis. You understand? And we need to make sure to go look into that. Cause we go check the credit report, make the credit sure the credit report is accurate, but our LexisNexis a lot of times is not accurate. It's not. So you got to make sure to go over there and see, they don't talk about LexisNexis openly. Now, the media with all the money that they have, you would think they will be informing the American people about something like that. This is why they want to stop TikTok, for instance, right? Now, we look at things like the Democrats. The Democrats have been heavily on even censorship. So when the brother said you voted for this when it comes to the migrants, you voted for this when it comes to letting, biological males go into women's bathrooms or biological males getting in women's sports. Anything that the Democrats are promoting, when you go vote for that, Black America, you are participating. You're giving a green light by your vote. Now, you may say, well, I didn't go vote for no migrants now. They didn't go run a campaign on the migrants. I'm with you. They did not. But on a party platform, they're all about immigration, though, brother or sister. That's what they're about. So, yes, a lot of you in Black America have assisted with this migrant crisis coming to your neighborhood. And another mistake that a lot of you make is that you individualize a politician. You don't look at it as the party as a whole. Let's go back to Chicago, because this video is out of Chicago. You would say Brandon Johnson is the problem. So what you'll do, you'll mobilize and get Brandon Johnson out, but then you go turn right back around and go vote for another Democrat, and then you're right back in the same situation all over again. Then you can't figure out, well, we voted out Lori Lightfoot because she was a problem, and we got Brandon Johnson. Brandon Johnson is about worse than her. And okay, we got to get him out. And if you go out and go get another doggone Democrat, you're going to have the same problem. It is the party. It's the party positions that is the problem and what they're pushing. I told you at this point, the Democrat Party is anti-Black American, anti-American in general, but definitely anti-Black. They're very anti-Black. They're worse. You talking about the Republicans are anti-black, and yes, a good portion of them are. Not all of them, but a good portion of them are. Yeah. But I don't care at this stage in the game, what I've learned just being a businessman. I don't care if you're anti-black. I just need to get what I need to get at you, because I'm not living with you. You're not coming to my house. I'm not going to yours. I just need what I need. You got to understand, Lyndon Baines Johnson, the people, the Democrat Party, that dude was saying the N-word all doggone day about black people. He was a hella racist, and he still signed that civil rights bill. You know why? Because he was forced to. Because black folks wasn't going out there and voting. Black folks was out there doing strong economic boycotts like we talked about with Tyson Foods. They were putting foot to pavement and foot to butt. That's what they were doing, and they were forced to do that. That's what happened. Listen, even the anti-black racists feel that in the 1960s they took a major L with black Americans getting the Civil Rights Bill, getting the Voting Rights Act, and even getting that Immigration Act. Now, in hindsight, the Immigration Act was a horrible mistake that we made. Now we see we live in the consequences of it. Because if we would have stopped it, at the voting rights and civil rights and then focus on reparations, we probably would have reparations already. Our hearts was in the right place, and now we see today that was the most horrible thing that we ever supported at this point, because they're bringing in people who have anti-black sentiments, right? And let me make sure to say anti-black American sentiments. Make sure to say that in particular. But you have to take responsibility of what you vote for. So what a lot of black people are saying now is they're looking at two issues as major for black people: the migrant crisis and the economy. And Biden has failed on the migrant crisis. He claims the economy is doing great, but if it's not doing great for the least of them, then it's not doing great for none of them. Because, yeah, I guess if you are rich and all that sort of thing, I guess it's great for your investments. Oh, yeah, it's great. But if the people at the bottom isn't saying it's great, then the economy isn't great. You understand what I'm saying? So people when people talk about the gas price, and when people talk about the food prices, when people talk about interest rates, and why I always talk about interest rates, because if you cannot buy a home because the interest rates are too freaking high, then that's cutting you out of something that should be your birthright, as having a home of your own, not an apartment, because apartment isn't yours, but a home of your own. It's so bad that people are squatting now. They're squatting. Now, if you own any kind of real estate, this is my suggestion to you. Make sure you put an alarm system with cameras on your home, and make sure you arm that alarm, period. So when they break in, the squatters try to break in, right? It's going to send an alert to the police. They're going to come out and say breaking and entering, even if they got a fake lease. Say, I got a lease. Listen, if you signed a lease, you wouldn't be breaking in a door. You wouldn't be picking a door. You wouldn't be doing anything, right? If you had a real legitimate lease, it wouldn't be no armed alarm. So make sure you arm your alarm, because it's crazy that you own a house and you literally got to evict somebody out your house that's not paying anything. If the Republicans going to take over, and then Republicans definitely start there in Texas for sure, because I hear that's about to get started. Them squatter laws got to go. Nobody should be able to just enter your property. I'm sorry, it's your property. Period. But we got to take responsibility, and you can take responsibility. You have a chance to make it up. You have a chance in this next election. The Biden-Harris administration got to go. They still playing the same playbook. They're sitting up there bringing Fat Joe to the White House. Like, really? Like, at this point, it's only like maybe one or two rappers that I'm cool with speaking politically, but I'm gonna say 99.9% of them, I don't want to hear them. If I see a rapper talking about anything, I'm gonna turn them off. Like, for instance, only rapper that I'm cool with talking about politics at this point would be Killer Mike, Ice Cube. It's not that many, right? I know it's a few more. But that's the two top off my head. But But having Glorilla at the White House, Fat Joe, and all these other people, notice they don't do that to no other community. And that's why Black America need to get offended by that. Notice, why they not bringing the country music artists up there to talk to the white community? Or why not bringing the Tejano singers up there to talk to the Hispanic community? Why aren't they bringing K-pop art? Well, they did actually bring some K-pop artists up there, actually. But why aren't they constantly bringing K-pop and all type of different Asian artists to talk to Asian people? Why aren't they doing that? They always do it to the black community. That's why I'm repulsed with that sort of thing. That's disrespectful to the black community. We have so many grassroots people. We have media personalities who really can get down and talk. But see, this is the thing. The Biden-Harris administration don't want to talk about what's real for Black America. They don't want to. They want black people just to be up there, happy just to be there, acting like Massa let you in the house for the first time, and you say, "Oh my God, Massa! I finally got out the field, and Massa got me in the house." That's how you act. That's how you acted. And supposedly Glorilla supposed to be so hood. And yeah, she's up there just cheesing with Biden. Like, really, Glorilla? Man, Biden don't care about you. All your people. I wouldn't be taking a picture of that man for what? See, what needs to happen is one of y'all, if y'all was for the community, y'all be smiling at first and then pull up on him and say, "Hey, man, what happened? What's up with these reparations? Well, we need that. You want our vote? Okay, cool. Sign the reparations. You got it. You got it." Hey, man, look, and also, I'm going to tell you what else happened today. Speaking about migrants, do y'all know the Supreme Court allowed Texas, as of today, to enact SB 4? Now, SB 4 basically says our state and local law enforcement can arrest people for crossing the border now. Oh, Biden's mad. Oh, listen, they're already starting. Oh, that law is just going to target Hispanics, even if they're just, citizens, going to target them. They're at the border. They're not really in the interior like that. So they already boogeyman. Now, I will give the Democrats this. They very good at fear tactics. I'll give them that. But if you see through the Democrats, it is what it is. So what probably will happen if enough of them get arrested by crossing the Texas border? California, get ready for the wave. But, y'all take them in. I don't know why they're not going to California. I mean, because, shoot, y'all got an open border there. I mean, shoot. Now, hey, y'all can probably go to Utah. I mean, they need some good migrants over there in Utah, Bring some diversity over there to Utah. They need it. Utah needs it. So bring some good diversity to Utah. I'm pretty sure y'all can get in Arizona, New Mexico, places like that. But just kind of avoid Texas. That's going to be kind of the new thing. Just avoid Texas, go the other way, because as of right now, you will be getting arrested. And, Greg Abbott, they say, oh, he hates Hispanics. Well, his wife is Mexican. I don't know if y'all know that. Greg Abbott's wife is Mexican. So I guess if his wife is not tripping on it, I guess, it is what it is, right? But yeah, the Supreme Court, said that Texas couldn't enforce that law today. So maybe Biden needs to do what's right by, the country, and Texas wouldn't have to take it to that level. Texas should not ever have to take it to that level. But come on. I mean, they're just flooding the state of Texas. Why you think they had Operation Lone Star? But if you vote for the Democrats, that's what you're voting for. That's all that brother was saying. But that's okay. You can say, we all make mistakes. It happens. We all, listen, we all human. And it's nothing to hold over your head forever. But in November, you can make a change. You can either say, you know what? I'll choose the couch. If that's what you choose to do, I'll choose Trump. I'm pretty sure a lot of people in Chicago is going to probably go out there and vote Trump because they want Trump to get on. Now, listen, I know what some of you going to have to do if you choose to do that. Don't tell black people what you're going to do. Don't tell black people anything. Because who you voting for? I ain't thought about it yet. I'll figure that out. Don't tell them anything. And then when you go vote, just go vote quietly and go home. Who you voted for? I voted my interest. Okay, who was that? I voted my interest. Why you keep asking me a question like that, bruh? It's my right to vote. I have a right in this country to vote, and I ain't got to tell you who I voted for. It's not your business. Period. If I didn't vote, it's not your business. Stay out of my business, bruh. Sis. Don't tell them. Ain't their business who you didn't vote for. Listen, you ain't got to announce to the world who you voted for. Them folks don't be announcing. A lot of them folks, let me tell you what they were doing in 2016 with Trump. They were saying, oh, no, Trump, well, he's racist. Oh, I'm not going to vote for Trump. And then they went right in there and voted for Trump. So if you want to tell them, oh, I ain't voting for no Trump, forget Trump. Nah, I don't like Trump. And you go right in there and go vote for him, that's your business. At the end of the day, the two issues that black people are really complaining about is the economy and the migrant crisis. It's just that simple. And we know, based on history, what candidate is going to deal with that. And if you don't want to vote for Trump, that's your business. You want to vote third party, that's your business. It's your business. My only issue is this. Look at what Biden and them have done in their tenure. Look at how you living today versus how you were living back then. And then let your lifestyle and what you're living today, let that be a guide of who you choose to vote for. Do you want to continue how you're living right now? Because if you want more of this, then you know who to vote for. And if you want to shake that up and start getting things changed, then you also know who to vote for. It's just that simple. It's not that hard. Me personally, I don't want a continuation of what we're living now. I don't. The migrant crisis is very important to me because I look at what's happening to my community all over the country. The economy is very important. For me, business is very important. Taxes is very important. Those things are very, very important to me personally. I know Biden is definitely not going to handle all those issues. It's just that simple. And if they talk about racism as a black community, we deal with racism on our own. We don't need no politician deal with no racism, Democrat or Republican. We'll handle racist if we run into that. But you got to take responsibility, Black America. Got to take responsibility. And also, before I wrap this up, I've been getting a lot of messages, and thank y'all for coming, send me messages, going to AfricanDiasporaNews.org, our website, on the contact page. Y'all sending me a lot of testimonies, and I probably need to print out some of these testimonies and read them on the show of how people who have been lifelong Democrats, even people who are 70 years old, people's children, I'm talking about grown children, have been watching the podcast, and they are been convinced to say, you know what, that information is right, that brother is right, because see, I want to show y'all. I've been a firm believer of showing you, not telling you. I don't have to propagandize anything. I want to show you what the Democrats are doing to our people. And I'm passionate about that. And I told you I got passionate about this migrant crisis when I saw a young, look like she's 21, 22-year-old Black American woman on the street, young woman on the street, remind me of my daughter, on the street in Chicago back in October of last year in the cold, while Brandon Johnson was putting up migrants in schools, and then had that young sister out there in the streets. That's what made me more passionate immediately when it came to the migrant crisis. So yes, it's very personal because I saw that with my own two eyes. See, these Democrats, when you don't see what happens, it's easy for you to say, I don't know about that or whatever. And then now people talking about, now Brandon Johnson starting to put them out the shelters, and now people talking about, where they gonna go? The same place that young sister was at, I guess. It's that young sister's turn to get in the shelter. It's her turn. All Black Americans, all Americans, period. It's their turn to be in them empty schools. Period.